This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
This portion of Lee Pitts Live is brought to you by Hodges University, celebrating 25 years of educating Southwest Florida.
Southwest Florida, this is an honor and a privilege to get a chance to interview one of the great legal minds in our community. His name is a pretty popular name in the area, Derrick Issac, the son of Don Issac. Let me bump you in, man. Went to University of Florida. You got your law degree at Florida State. Are you a Gator or are you a Seminole?
I'm a Gator by heart. That changed.
Hey, you say that real quick.
Oh, there's no question.
Hey, so how did you, with Don being your dad, who's the head of Florida Rural Legal Services, were you always going to be an attorney?
I was going to be an attorney, whether he was one or not. I think my mom is also well into the legal field. She's worked in insurance her whole life, and she's working with Morgan & Morgan now as a case manager, so the law was spinning around every time I could turn when I was little.
So that was good to set your goals at an early age. Say something to the young kids about setting your goals at an early age.
Anything in life that is good takes hard work, so if you don't work hard at it, it won't be good, and if it comes easy, then it's probably not something that's going to be fulfilling and long lasting. So work hard and good things will come.
If you came in a bottle, everybody would be drinking.
Absolutely.
Man, you deal with property rights. Just in thinking about some of the things that are associated with property rights, it seems like there's a lot that people need to know in terms of their property right. What kind of help with property rights does Florida Rural Legal Services provide?
The things that we can do with property are kind of endless. We take all of our cases by case basis, so depending on our resources at the given time and what your issue is, we can take any kind of a property issue. We mainly do a lot of foreclosures and landlord-tenant issues with regards to property.
What are some of those issues?
With regard to foreclosures, we're on a little bit of a downturn from when it was at its peak, but they're still happening. People that can't make payments on their mortgages, and sometimes they have defenses and sometimes they don't, but we want to do whatever we can to help them get through that process.
And one of the great thing that Florida Rural Legal Services does is you actually provide free legal services to people depending on their income.
Yeah, anybody that qualifies for our services, general rule is if you're below the 120% mark on the poverty scale, then you'll qualify for our services. And we have a lot of different grants that get some people that might have a little more money than that as well.
Okay, we have your website and phone number occurring on the screen. What can people do to protect themselves when they enter into a lease agreement?
The most important thing to do when you enter a lease agreement is to read it. You'll be surprised how many people sign a lease and have no idea what it says.
I'm raising my hand, man. I'm one of them. I don't read all that gobbledygook, but that's not good, right?
It's not good. Take the minute. I know you're sitting at the table and your property manager wants you to sign and you're excited to get your new place, but take the minute and read it. And a lease is a contract, so it's negotiable. So just make sure that you know what's in it, and if there's something that doesn't jive with you, then you have the right to say that to a property manager and get it changed.
And a lot of times we think our landlords is just big landlord all over us, but we really have some rights. What should we do if a landlord, for example, doesn't do some repairs to our property that they're supposed to do?
Repairs are a big thing that come through our office. When you look at a repair issue, you're mainly looking at first who's responsible for making the fix, and that's why reading your lease is very important. You're going to find who's responsible for making the fix, either in your lease or in the Florida statutes.
Yeah. Now, when I signed that lease, somebody signed that lease, we're bound to that lease. Like, we can't break that lease, right? We could go to the end of the world.
It's a contract, so it's going to go for a period of time normally, and yes, you're going to be bound to it, and unless the contract itself has a provision that's going to allow you out of it, you are going to be bound by it.
Now, if somebody evicts me, I see people get evicted. I've never been evicted, fortunately. But they had it looks like it's a big sign on the door and all that big yellow sign. Well, anyway, when you get evicted, what are your rights?
Well,
you come and throw your stuff all out in the yard, just like, hey, you out, get out, get.
Well, first, there's a difference between having an eviction filed against you and actually being evicted. Having an eviction can happen to anybody. You could have done nothing wrong and someone can file a court case against you to evict you. Being evicted means that you've actually gone through the court process and the judgment's been entered against you, and the judge says the landlord has the right to retake possession of the property. Once it's gotten to that point, there's not tons that you can do. A writ of possession will be issued by the court, and your landlord will be able to come retake the property.
And they can kick you out.
At that point, yes, the sheriff will come.
Ooh.
And they will retake possession. So it's important to seek legal help before it gets to that point.
How about security deposit? You know, somebody, you know, I take security deposit and say, hey, you get your money back if everything is okay. People don't give you your money back, whatever. They can say, hey, you know, you put a scuff mark on my floor, I keep all the money.
The way the security deposit works in Florida is your landlord's got 30 days from the date that you move out of the property to either make an accounting of the security deposit and give you the rest of the money back, or to give you your full security deposit back at that time. They should send that in a certified letter. If they don't send you a letter within 30 days, then they might have forfeited their right to your security deposit. If they charge something that you don't believe that they should have charged against your security deposit, you have a right to object to that in writing, and ultimately you can sue them in small claims court to try and reclaim that money.
Great. Now, I'm looking forward to this. What is the Fair Housing Act? I see that all the time. You know, people can't discriminate against you, fair housing and all that, but what does that mean? Sesame Street?
Yeah, the Fair Housing Act 1968 was established to set a set of standards for non-discrimination in rental housing and in the purchase of housing. It provides for penalties for those that don't adhere to the statute, so it's a real important tool to eliminate discrimination in housing.
Final question. What is Florida Rural Legal Services doing to protect people from being discriminated against?
You give us a call and we will evaluate your situation as hard as possible. In a fair housing situation, the state does a lot of that investigation, so the issue is referred to the state for a full-on investigation. If they come back and say that you have a right to sue somebody, you give us a call back, and you know we're willing to be that advocate for you.
Well, Derrick, first of all, I'm so glad that you went to law school, became a lawyer. You're a very impressive chap, and it's been a thrill to have you here on Leases Live and doing the type of job that you're doing that's really helping people and making a difference in the community.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Okay, let's pump you out again, man. As the saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like Derrick and all the fine people, including my good friend Don Issac, who are associated with Florida Rural Legal Services, who are doing it. When we come back, we'll find out about counseling and the Lee County School District.